I am 28 years old. I got married a little over a year ago. Everything was like everyone else's. Vows of loyalty, promises to be together for better or for worse, and, of course, conversations about eternal love. I really believed in it, tried to be the best husband I could. There were no thoughts that something could go wrong in my head. But as it turned out, life can take a sharp wrong turn. From the very beginning, I tried to invest in our marriage to the fullest. He took responsibility for family affairs, tried to take care of his wife, support her family, because it was important to her. He gave flowers, even if not every day, but when he felt it was necessary. Yes, I may not have been perfect, but who is perfect anyway? I tried my best. I had 2 jobs, and of course it was very exhausting. There was not enough money all the time, especially when it was necessary to help her parents, and all sorts of small expenses accumulated. There are medicines, there is an urgent amount, and all this fell on my shoulders. I considered it my duty to be the one who provides for the family, who protects and helps it. He worked nonstop, despite his fatigue. In our intimate life, everything was quite good. We didn't live as neighbors. Everything was fine in terms of proximity, although, to be honest, there was less and less time for communication and care, for some kind of warm conversations. I thought the main thing was that I bring money to the house, that I take care of her family, solve everyday issues. But apparently, this was not the most important thing for her. Gradually, I began to notice that something had changed. She also worked part-time, but lately she began to ask for money more often for some needs. At first, I did not attach any importance to this, and then it began to alarm me that the money was going somewhere, but I did not receive specific explanations. Suspicion crept into my head. Why does she leave more and more often, but the money disappears, and there are no special purchases or expenses? I decided to follow her. It was probably the most frustrating moment in my life, when I realized that the trust that was supposed to be the foundation of our marriage was starting to crumble. And so, as it turned out, she was spending our money on another man. I couldn't believe it for a long time, but the facts were before my eyes. It's like a slap in the face, a blow to the heart. At first, I didn't want to believe that all this was happening to me. But I decided to take a desperate step, to catch them together. I will remember that day for the rest of my life. I went into the apartment, and here he is. This guy, without even looking at me properly, packed up and quickly left, as if it were the order of the day. Only his silhouette flashed before my eyes. And she stood there as if nothing had happened, looked at me with her innocent eyes, and worst of all, said it was my fault. She said without any remorse that I did not keep track of such beauty. And they say, this is my problem, not hers. These words stabbed into my soul like a knife. I kicked her out without thinking. I didn't have the energy to shout or explain. I just kicked him out. But the story didn't end there. She started calling, tried to apologize, but she did it in a strange way. In each of her apologies, there was an accusation against me. In her eyes, it was still my fault. At first, I was waiting for sincerity, some kind of understanding on her part, but I did not wait. This feeling, when you realize that you have been betrayed and are also accused of being to blame for yourself, just corrodes from the inside. Of course, I will file for divorce. It's already been decided. But the feeling that I was just spat in the soul does not go away. I keep asking myself the same question. Where did I make a mistake? Everything seemed to be in order. In my intimate life, as I said, everything was fine. I tried to be attentive, caring, brought money home, and most importantly, it was all for her sake. For the sake of her family, for the sake of her happiness. And so, a year after the wedding, she cheated on me. And she didn't just cheat, she took my money to provide for another man. This is the most disgusting thing in this whole story. Yes, perhaps an apology would not have changed anything, but at least it somehow became easier. Instead, they just made me look guilty, and even accused me of not keeping track of her beauty, as if it's my duty to keep her safe all the time. I discussed all this with my friends. Of course, they tried to support, but in general, all the conversations boiled down to three main points. First, if a woman is walking, then there's nothing you can do about it. Second, if she has stopped loving, then it is better to break up. Third, if something was missing in the relationship, it's worth drawing conclusions and moving on. I decided to go through these points. First of all, I really love her. Love doesn't go away so quickly, even after betrayal. Maybe that's why I didn't notice any warning signs in her behavior. We both come from decent families, and cheating has always been something unacceptable for us. At least, that's what I thought. Secondly, if she fell out of love, why does she keep calling? She calls me every day and says she loves me. But her apologies sound crooked, as if she doesn't fully understand what she's done. And the worst thing is, she keeps blaming me. Maybe she was missing something. Attention, warmth, intimacy. But I did everything I could. I worked. I tried to provide for my family. It seemed to me that this was enough. Third, if something was missing in our relationship, I'm not going to find out. For me, this is a blow below the belt. I did everything I could, worked 2 jobs to help her family. And instead of gratitude, he got a knife in the back.